Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause niggas ain't really who they say on the outside. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside.
Are you actually autistic? I thought we were just making jokes this whole time.
He can draw a mean pony. Welcome back to Madhouse Podcast. Boots is retarded and couldn't figure out his audio. He's back now.
What's up?
Turns out the autism unplugged the cord for him. Should have unplugged the cord when he was in his mom's gut, but
Ooh. Ooh-wee. Jeremy's face is an accurate representation.
Anywho, this week's topic is kind of something that we all discuss quite often, at least amongst our friend group, and I'm sure other people. Yeah, and I'm sure other people who are in the car scene discuss, this daily. And it's, what the hell is wrong with the damn car scene these days, man? Like, what happened to the days when you could just go out and stand in a parking lot, bullshit with a bunch of people, and then at the end of the day, you made a new friend, or you just said, hey, I don't fucking like that guy, or something was weird about him, so I'm just not going to talk to him anymore. But you didn't sit there and start a bunch of drama with him. I mean, those are the days that, Jeremy and I grew up in. And you seldomly came across people like that. It was more or less the old heads. And if you had a question, the old heads would always help you out.
Back when everybody's contact information in your phone was what they drove. Like, I swear for years, it was
still like that for me.
Rodney Yellow V-Dub. For years, bro. For years, that's what it was in my phone.
It's still like that for me, unless like you have like a personal name, like you got like a nickname or a nickname amongst the group, then that's what it
like glue.
Actually, what's funny is your phone and my what's funny, Jeremy, your name in my phone is actually still Jeremy Black Dick Moan.
Bro, that's awesome.
So one day
I forget why that came about, but
I was over at Jeremy's
for a long time.
Yeah, I was over there drinking one day, and I forgot my phone there one night when I left. So the next morning, I hit you up from my wife's phone, and I was like, "Yo, it's Rodney. Hey, did I leave my phone here?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, it's right here." And so I was like, "All right, I bet I'm gonna swing over in a few minutes and grab it." Go over there. Didn't even look, bro. Like an hour later, he calls me because he needed to borrow something, and I look at my phone, and it just says Jeremy Black Dick Moan.
Oh my god.
Anyways, little side story. What's your thoughts, Will, on this the current state of this car scene?
Man, there's so many avenues I can go with this. Well, first off, like I think there's no appreciation of the amount of work that people put into their vehicles. I mean, well, what meat was it that I was getting ragged on because of my wheels, my wheel and tire setup, and all I had was an intake because they didn't bother to understand what I did to the car.
Oh yeah, we were at that. It was at the Gordon Highway meet. If that explains a lot to you guys here, but we were at the Gordon Highway meet, and obviously Will's car is full M3 driveline swap and everything. There's a lot of fucking work that's been done to his car. And these two kids walk up and they're just like, that's all it's done to it is just an intake. And he just looks at him and goes, yeah.
And wheels.
And then as they're walking away, they go, those are discount tire wheels.
Sounds like some shit I would say.
But the thing of it is, dude, like they're not discount tire wheels. Those are $2,000, $2,500, I think is what he spent on that wheel set.
Yeah. They're not cheap wheels, bro. But it's stuff like that. Nobody bothers to understand what has actually been done to a vehicle before they open their mouths and sound super ignorant.
Well, it's
And,
kind of
and
sorry, go ahead.
no, I mean, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I feel like Fast and the Furious kind of ruined everything. I think
It made it a fad.
it kind of did, and then everybody with a Civic is a car guy all of a sudden, and everybody with a fucking any kind of import is like all of a sudden, oh, I'm a car guy. I'm a car guy. When really they don't,
Yeah,
and
I can see
they've
that.
kind of like shoehorned themselves into this like this weird like personality bubble that they just don't have any business in, and that's okay. But then it's like a masculine to not be into cars, and so then they're just kind of like forced to like they're just forced to open their mouth when really they don't fucking know anything. They just saw a cool movie and bought a car that's got fucking racing stripes on it, and they think that's them now. And it's not, and it's sad, and you can tell. You can
Well, I
tell.
always
Look at
say
the
that,
fucking
like,
Hyundai guys.
and I've told I've told both Will and Boots this before. You know that there's car enthusiasts, and then there's people who are interested in cars. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
I agree with
That's
that.
fair. To circle back on Will's car, Mr. Intake and Discount Tire Wheels, that's an interesting route that you took though, because you went for like the super OEM-ness of it. Like it's not super ungodly fast, it's not super loud, it's not super flashy.
Oh,
And
I would
you
disagree with the loud part. Have you
It's
been
pretty
in it?
fucking loud.
I was gonna say,
I've
have you
been
been in
behind-
it?
I've ridden in it, been behind it, driven it.
It's loud.
all right, I'll give you that one.
I mean,
But it's not a
versus
super
every
ungodly, flashy
straight
swap.
piped VG. You know what I mean? It's fairly
It's a
timid.
It's still loud. Like even
it's loud, dude.
even
Is it?
after I put the exhaust on or had the exhaust
Yeah,
made
it's-
for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty
Regardless.
fucking loud, dude.
I'll
Anywho.
give you loud, but the idea being that you went with such an OEM plus swap that the only people who are going to know what the fuck you did there, other than Intake and Discount Tire Wheels, is going to be BMW people.
I mean, there's
Everyone
still
else just kind of looks at it and says,
Okay,
"Ugh."
but
there's
that-
a point to ask before
I was
just
gonna say,
going
that-
ahead and making assumptions about it.
Yeah.
"Oh yeah,
I
that's
was going to
absolutely
say
fair."
that's still up to like the person when you approach someone. Usually, when you're at a car show, car meet, whatever, and you see someone's car and you kind of dig their shit and you walk up. Usually, one of the first things you ask, excuse me, is what's all done to the car. I really dig it. It's beautiful or whatever. What's all done to it. At least I know that's what I usually ask. It's never you just have an intake. That's it. Because I
got
don't know what
fucking
else
turbo.
they've done. Yeah.
Oh, sister fucker Steve, boy. It's got a fucking turbo in it.
But
So I mean, I guess that's the point that Will's trying to make. Go ahead, Will.
yeah, that's my point. Is like nobody wants to ask or just be generally friendly to other people. It's all about like who can I hate and how can I dog on them. And I mean,
Well,
rightfully so. Some people do need to be dogged on because there's some stupid shit. But
I'm
But I
tired
don't
of
think-
respecting all builds.
I think the whole infamous thing and locally hated thing has become more than hated on someone else. People in today's car scene thrive on being hated on. They feel like
Yeah.
it gives them some kind of clout or whatever they're searching for these days.
yeah,
You see all these people rolling around with locally hated stickers, bro. Buddy, I've never heard of you.
Your mom doesn't even really care, like about your car. Like,
Right.
like nobody else. Your neighbors, your immediate neighbors, probably don't like you cold starting your straight piped VG. Nobody else gives a fuck, man. And if that can segue into like my biggest gripe is that like it's so clicky, but yet people like gatekeep like a motherfucker within their clique, right? So Like, you realize that, like, in our circle, like, an M3 swapped E46 is pretty badass, right? It's pretty high up there as far as invasive mods and, like, full-blown, like, nut and bolt, bumper to bumper.
It's cool.
Working on the car. Yeah. But like Boots said, outside of the Euro crowd, that doesn't fucking mean anything, and that's not that cool. Versus
in the whole global scheme of things, it's like you did a whole swap for 330 something horsepower. So the Euro guys appreciate it.
Boots is over here gatekeeping right now.
I was gonna say,
literally gatekeeping right now.
But we gatekeep from within, right? We gatekeep from within. And to say the like the Honda guys, when you go through and you do like full corn or 85 swap and like a Type R turbo or some kind of JDM OEM plus doohickey in that community, that's like the biggest fucking thing in the world. And then they gatekeep it because, you know, it's like an ugly chick in a small town. I mean, she might be an 8 here, but when you put her in like the general population, she's like a 4.5 on a good day with makeup. So for me, it's just a shitty gatekeeping. Like, nobody, like, it just doesn't fucking matter. And I think that's where the origins of that phrase that everybody has grown to fucking hate, which is respect all builds, is because that might be like the pinnacle, like for old fucking Augustus Gloop over here with his Genesis coupe. To them, like as many fucking discount tire, or as many fucking like discount tire wheels and fucking AutoZone chrome stickers and Raceland coilovers and fucking and galvanized fence.
Yeah, we get it.
Sauce. That is the pinnacle. Like, that is the nicest fucking Jenny you can build. And then they like guard it, like, and they get fucking salty because nobody likes their fucking Jenny.
Well, I think when building the 330i, I come to realize that I really just don't give a shit what other people think, because I've gotten so much hate on why I tore the driveline out of a M3, like an M3 that I probably could have rebuilt. It would have cost a shit ton of money, but I could have rebuilt it and got it looking pretty again and stuck it in the 330i. And I've just come to realize, like, I just don't give a shit what other people think. I look at the car.
Would
in
you
the
say
garage.
you're locally hated?
No, because my car hasn't made it out of the
Like
garage.
in this room, maybe not in the town.
But yeah, it's just like I've come to realize I don't give a shit what other people think. Like, I love the car. Anytime I'm in the car, I'm happy.
That's the way it should be, though. Like, you should 100% be building your car for you. And I think that's one of my big complaints too, is like everyone's so caught up in building their car for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's to impress somebody else, whether you're in that, that Honda scene and you want to impress that dude, the fucking dude who's swinging his dick around every weekend because he's got 1,000 horsepower Civic. I mean, who cares, dude? Like, you'll get there one day if that's what you want. If that's not what you want, then why are you trying to build that?
Yeah. Especially because there's always going to be a bigger fish. Like, we can all sit here and be like, oh, we're the fastest. Bro, no.
Always.
Like, it won't matter. You go a state over and then you're screwed because somebody over there is going to have something quicker.
I mean, and that applies in all scenes. And I feel like I've had a build at just about every like step of the way for its respective scene, right? So, back in the day, man, a KO4 swap and full bolt-ons on a Mark 6 that was titties, man. That was as big as you were going to get and as bad as you were going to get. And in the realm of other Mark 6s, that's it. You've peaked. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You have maybe 300 wheel horsepower, no traction, no coils, packs, shitty suspension, wheel hop for days. And that was it. That was pinnacle. And so Like that's how I feel now. I mean, you guys make fun of my mommy mobile, but it's pretty well like it's coming up on the top of its respective circle. And I kind of get a kick out of other people in the forums and shit, and they're like, "Oh man, one day I want to be able to order this, or I want to be able to have this for my Touareg or Cayenne or Q7 or whatever." And from somebody who has all those parts and the rotiform wheels and the big ass nittos and the lift and everything, it's like, this is your aspiration. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just different because I look at it the same way. When I go out and hit trails and shit and go play around, I'm the last guy in the chain of 10 or 15 fucking Toyotas and solid axle Jeeps. You know what I mean? Barely keeping up. I keep up, but fucking barely, and it's an expensive mistake if I do. You know what I mean? But I'm looked at as the pinnacle within my realm. You know?
Yeah.
Mm.
What you got, Boots?
As an aside, I think it's weird that all these little mini trophies came about. Like I've got the fastest Mark 7 with 17s at this exact ride height with this color, whatever bullshit. You add in all these qualifiers, then you're the fastest with these 19 different qualifiers.
I think we call that gatekeeping.
Would you?
Yes. Because you're setting perimeters, and then you're sitting there in front of that perimeter saying, I am the fastest this. That's gatekeeping.
You're just protecting. It's like a dog fucking protecting its bone. But nobody else wants that fucking bone, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Chill out, dude.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, just release your grip a little bit, buddy.
That's fair.
No.
And
okay,
the other one that really gets me is fantastic cars that are actually ruined by the communities that just surrounds them. Like I really wanted, this happened with a couple of cars. I've really wanted a Porsche, a couple of different gens of that for a while now, but the boomer purists that just flock to Porsches made me kind of throw up my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, but that kind of goes back. That goes back to what we were saying, where you build it for yourself, and who gives a fuck what the community thinks about what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, see, if I'm asking for community guidance on something, like, hey, does anyone have experience with this specific twin turbo kit? Well, I don't know, whatever. And you might have one guy in there who's gonna know about it, maybe two, but then you got 30 guys who come in there before and say, oh no, the way Porsche put it out is the best way. And then those one or two guys that know shit might not even say anything because they don't want to deal with the purists.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
That's more gatekeeping.
When I did my driveline swap, I wasn't asking people. I think I asked. There's a guy in Atlanta, Sean, who has the cleanest M3 sedan that should have came off the factory floor if BMW were to do it. I've asked him once, and that was the wheel ABS sensors. And I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with that. But before that, doing the whole driveline swap, Rodney, myself, and my dad, we all figured it out by looking at technical documents or just using our expertise. I didn't go on the forums and, ask somebody like, oh, how's the best way to go about this swap?
Yeah. I feel like coconut forums have really become the death of and you guys know what by coconut forums we're talking about, just those car scene forums where people are just blabbering bullshit. Famous phrase within our group termed by a really good friend, Gage Sparks. Shout out to Gage. Because Boots is always going, well, in this forum it says this, and bro, you get the fuck off the goddamn coconut forums. Because it's the forums have really just transformed from being helpful. It's no longer the old heads on there anymore.
No.
And by old heads, the people who came up and have been doing this shit for years and they know what they're talking about. back before social media and becoming locally hated was the cool thing, these forums were what you would go to. You know what I'm saying? You unplugged your corded phone and you plugged it into your big ass computer, and no phone calls for a few hours because I'm looking up on this forum how to do this shit.
Right.
And it was literally just, paragraphs and paragraphs of helpful information.
I just say,
And it's not.
I'm pretty sure my dad's even kind of moved away from the forums. Now he's moving towards like, oh, let's make some YouTube videos of this stuff because the forums just aren't the same anymore.
Bro,
Right.
I remember
it's become more of like, hey, I'm looking at doing this, any expertise on how to do this. And then it's just more of, oh, well, why the fuck would you do that? Oh, that's dumb. Why don't you do this instead? Well, this is what's in my price point. This is what's in my budget.
Yeah.
Which is another topic, that I'll hit on, but I'll let Jeremy go real quick.
I remember when the Samba was like a lifeline, man. Like the Samba, the Vortex, those were like killer forums back in the day. And I think now it's just so, like you said, like it's just so flooded with like these new
dumb discussions about oil.
Yeah, it's just these new fake car guys that go in there and they know like a smidge of information and they try to paint it a mile wide, and it's just not there. The information just isn't there anymore, and people really don't care to help. It just
they take what their mechanic said and they run with it.
Yeah, or they're just repeating a bunch of other shit they had, but actual real life experience, it's just not there. Like I said, it's 2 drops of paint spread a mile wide. Like it's unfortunate. And so you kind of just have to carve your own path anymore. Most car guys, most of us will gravitate towards platforms that already have some kind of aftermarket anyway. It's very rare for you to get into something that the aftermarket just either doesn't exist, or there's like 1 or 2 guys out there that are making parts for it, and a clique community that are doing a bunch of hood rat shit. I mean, to a particular platform,
I did that with the bins.
Yeah.
How often have you seen just a fucking laid out bins? It's a really niche community, and that car got so much hate.
Amongst the old schools,
yeah, locally hated, baby.
Every time,
yeah, bro. Like, just by when it was completely stock, I'd get a lot of older people. Oh, I really like your car, young man. Oh, well, thank you. But then as soon as I slammed it, put it on some wheels, and these people were turning their nose up at the car, man. I even had one dude pull up at a stoplight and was like, "You need to go back to one of them Ricer cars. You're ruining one of our good cars." And I was like, "Shut up, old man." Yeah, I was like, "You're in a fucking Honda Ridgeline. Go away."
He almost lost his Our cars.
I mean, fucking choking over here.
Bro, that car got so much hate. I had people give me disgusted. Will drove around in it, and he saw the disgusting looks that you get, dude. And it's hilarious, man. It really is funny. But it's difficult to be in that community and that scene, and then you're in these Facebook pages and you're trying to ask people for advice and, hey, I've done this, what can I do for this? And you're kind of paving your own way. There was really just 2 or 3 of us that were paving our own way. I was the first one on a set of coilovers, and then there's another guy that was in the group who was the first one on a set of airlift bags. So we kind of were just pioneering the way and trying to figure out how to mod these cars, because there's not a whole lot of support out there for them.
And just to circle back, this was what, like a 15 or 16 C-Class C300?
16.
Yeah.
Yes, C300. Yeah, it wasn't anything, crazy. It's just entry level.
Yeah, pretty basic. Yeah, it's achievable. That's the other thing too. It's not like you fucking you tubbed out a Maybach and fucking ran 24s and rubber bands, and you know what I mean. Like,
don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm not saying you don't. But like, you got
You've
something
said it
that,
plenty
like,
of times. If you had a fucking Rolls, you'd slam it in a heartbeat.
Because,
would
yes,
too.
because if I had fuck you money, I would
If I
take
had
a
Rolls
Rolls
money,
and
you
put it
goddamn
on
right.
its fucking nuts. Yeah.
Wick. I think there's a like a GT Continental that's fucking completely laid out and tubbed like that too. It makes me a little chubby, dude. Like, it's pretty sexy.
Yeah. So, what I was going to get at before I let you speak real quick was people have begun building outside of their budget, and I feel like that's really just put a lot of air in their head. You know what I'm saying? Where spending all their money on fucking 3-piece wheels and then living off of ramen for the next. Yeah, you.
A little above my
I mean,
means.
you know what
I'm
I'm
still
saying? But
paying for the mods.
But you're not really one of those that like has a lot of gut to your head, and you're like, oh, if you're not on 3 pieces, then you're not on anything, bro. You fucking finance those 3 pieces through a firm. Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Paying $120 a month on fucking 30% interest for the next 30 years for $3,000 wheels. You do the math.
Jesus, they are dope though. I mean, they are dope though.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, but live within your means and do what you can. It's not, and that's what I try to explain to a lot of people too, because there's this whole moniker within the car scene of, oh, you have to have the dopest car, and yet, while yes, having the dopest car, it's a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's a good feeling to get complimented on your car. Bro, we all started somewhere. We didn't have the nicest fucking cars when we all started. You know what I'm saying?
I was just looking through my photos and I saw the 330i back in stock form, and I was just like, ugh.
Well, even before that, bro, the Miata that you had, and
the
the
Miata
Focus,
was trash, bro.
The
Fuck
Focus
that
that you
Miata.
had, bro. Like, I played around with Focuses for a
Sentra?
bit. Foci. Right.
You mean his Raleigh's Versa?
Oh yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
it was.
Raleigh's
Yeah,
Versa.
okay. I was like,
Yeah.
in the Sentra?
I had an 89. I had an 89 F250 that I lifted and played around with. You know what I'm saying? So like we all
but that was cool.
somewhere.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you're not
to that
wrong.
particular,
I don't think I've ever had it.
that's the thing. To that particular circle, yeah, dude, a fucking 89 F250 long bed is titties, bro. That is some kid's dream truck.
Well,
right now.
Now these days it is, but back when I had it, bro, OBSs weren't really.
I
this
know.
was
That's
still
what I'm saying.
6.0 Power Stroke time. Yeah, so back when I had it, this was back in 08, 09, 07, somewhere in that time frame. Actually, I had it 07 all the way up until 2010 or so. But the OBSs weren't really all that at this point. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, oh, it's just kind of an old farm truck type of thing at that time. We all start somewhere.
I just think about that 11-second that farm truck. You seen those videos?
Lower than 11.
Is it
Farm
lower
truck?
than 11?
Oh, farm truck in Asian.
That thing's.
Yeah, farm truck in Asian. Yeah, that thing hauls, bro. I think that's like an 8-second truck.
Yeah, I think it's sub 10 because he's got a chute on it, so he's got to be 150 mile an hour plus and caged. So.
Yeah, but so that's why I always say, you see these kids in these clapped out Civics rolling around. They're not what's wrong with the car scene because we all started there. Whether it was a clapped out Civic, a clapped out Focus, a clapped out fucking whatever the fuck Boots had. It's so irrelevant that I don't remember. But we all started there. So, I'm not going to say that's not it. The whole revving at the car meets. That's not it either, man. It doesn't matter what car. I've been to millions of fucking meets in my life. I grew up in the car scene, and I've been in multiple different car scenes, in every market from small ass Augusta, Georgia, to Los Angeles, to where I grew up in. Phoenix is a medium sized market, and then even some in Missouri and stuff like that. So I've kind of been, and I'm even kind of still plugged in with the Atlanta car scene here and there. Every single meet I've gone to, there's someone revving, man. It's just the way it is, bro. It's a car. Someone wants to hear your motor. You're going to rev. My complaint with the car scene is these people who take their, and these days it's the fucking Chargers and Challengers. Back in the day, it was the Mustangs. It's the people who take their cars and start swinging it in the middle of the fucking meet, or these people who do the street car takeovers. That is what is killing the car scene these days. And then they see no problem with it. Oh no, that's just how we do it around here. All right, well, that's just how you're going to get the entire car scene shut down. That's how that's how California as a whole got their car scene shut down, to the point to where they're fucking emissions testing you on the side of the road. They're fucking, if they think your car's too loud, they can send you to a state ref and tow your car on the spot because of this dumbass shit.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with those Mopar kids, man. I respect the absolute shit out of the Hellcats, the Red Eyes, the Demons, the hell, even a Scat Pack is a hell of a fucking daily driver, man. It really is. And yeah, is it heavy? Sure. Is it all these things you want to talk shit about? But dude, them 392 cars are bad motherfuckers. And that's the problem is, I guess to an extent, is you can directly off the showroom floor buy something,
spin that motherfucker,
and wrap that motherfucker all the way in a circle right out of the fucking parking lot. It's faster than the better 60% of the shit on the road, and it's bone fucking stock. And so you get these guys who are insta car guys because they scooped an RT or a Scat Pack. They didn't have to turn wrenches. They didn't have to tune carbs. They didn't have to fucking get bonked with a flashlight coming up because they weren't holding it right for their pops or their fucking uncle or something. You know what I mean? Like they didn't. It feels disingenuous, these guys, because they didn't come up and do it the hard way. And I know that sounds ignorant, especially coming from the military culture. You know, oh, you're fucking pogue. Okay, thanks, bro. That's a compliment. I'm good with that. Like you realize that, right? Like you doing it harder doesn't prove anything to me.
We get paid the same, and I'm in a fucking cush office, and you're out there sweating your ass off.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying. And I got out and made $40 an hour. You got out, and now you're Paul Blart, begging for a security gig anywhere you can get it. Because I go bang bang.
What were you gonna say, Will? All right, what were you gonna say, Will?
I'd say, like, I feel like a lot of people have just lost focus on the purpose of car mates and getting together, you know, making friends, and then, you know, talking about cars, and that's it. You know, it's not, hey, let me show out to try to look cool. It's like, I'm just going to be cool and chill out. And then if, you know, people want to come over and work on stuff with us, like have a little group get together at one of the garages and all we're doing is working on cars. Like, I don't know. It just sounds more enticing to me than I'm going to try and sling my project car around in a parking lot.
When Jeremy and I were growing up, bro, like the car scene really was like a family, man. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Once you got in with these people, you were in with these people, man, and you were a family, bro. Like if you needed help, it's kind of like how I try to run our group. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're stuck on the side of the road, bro, you see 6 motherfuckers rolling deep to come get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sorry, go ahead.
And I feel like that's been lost in this, you know, everyone's, sad boy loner. Bro, like, make some fucking friends. It's not that hard to conversate.
Just at me.
At Will for like the third podcast in a row.
But at least, you know, Will at least makes the effort to, you know, talk to people. When people approach him about his car, he's not a snob about it. He's not, hey, it's this, and you'll never get this. And la, 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 la.
You cannot get this. You know, la, la, la. You cannot get this.
He's not like that, dude. He's just like, I've done this and I've done that, and you know, I can attest. I've seen him loan out tools and have people come over to his house who he's never met before, so he could help them diagnose something on their BMW. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the car scene that we grew up in, bro. Like somebody that you've been talking to for a few times, you might have never, you know, hey, I got a friend who does this. Hit him up. Hey, you know, so and so, you know, sent me your way. He said you might be able to help me do this on my car, or kind of show me the way. And you call you right back. Hey, yeah, man. Hey, come over at this time. I'm off at this time. I got these tools. You need, you know, just bring this, or bring a case of beer or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how many?
Not a problem.
How many suspension installs have we done?
Oh god.
Yeah,
For other
dude, bring a
people,
case of beer, bro.
Yeah.
Bring a case of beer. Bring some fucking pizza. Like I'm not gonna
That's
charge
it.
you, bro. But
Yeah.
I'm also not gonna do it for you. I'm gonna help you do it.
Which
And
is
never
a whole
do the final turn.
and that's a big thing that I think is a problem too. Is it's both like not a lot of people want to teach, but it's also part of the learner's job to be like, hey, I want to learn this stuff too, and that's lost. People just want the results; they don't want the experience of actually figuring it out.
Well, and that's how I got all my knowledge, though.
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
I've gotten to where I'm at is
Yeah.
turning cars. And I'll admit, even I know this much about yay much of cars. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even with as much knowledge as I have, I'll ask Will questions sometimes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he knows a little bit more in certain aspects than I do. He asks me questions because I know other aspects that he's not really sure about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's always a constant learning, and that's a lost art is learning how to do it.
Yeah.
One thing I'm really guilty of is
Not helping.
the whole.
Being lazy,
I am lazy, but
Having
it's
a
too,
weird-
too much. I'll just pay someone to do it.
You also have this like hint of
Focusing
cat
too
piss
much
smell
on
that I
power.
can't get over. It's just sour. It smells like ammonia, you know?
I peed on your leg. That's why. You just never noticed.
Get on your own leg.
But oh, that's what it was. But
Go on.
But no, I was always focusing on I gotta go fast. I gotta go real fast, and it was mainly these guys that actually got me broke out of that, and hence why I'm trying to get rid of a 450 horsepower car and go to one that's going to make sub 200 after a swap.
Well, the thing of it is, and I think we've described it before in this podcast, is you see the racer. And he is fucking white-knuckled, serious, and sweating at the fucking wheel of that car because he knows once he goes to fucking launch it's not fucking fun trying to control that motherfucker.
Mhm.
And then you roll up to a stoplight, and then you see some motherfucker in a slammed fucking beat-to-fuck Jetta making all of 175 horsepower.
Banging
And
through
he
all
is
the
having
gears.
And he is having the time of his fucking life, bro. The biggest smile on his face.
I actually messaged Kathy. I was like, how the fuck do you find gears in this thing? Because I was trying to adjust the shifter out there. And an old slopped up fucking 020 transmission. And all she could do was laugh and call me a rookie. Because she knows I'm used to... Yeah, she knows I'm used to transmissions that have...
You stir the pasta until it gets
gears.
into place.
That's right.
You just kind of stir the pasta and you'll find it.
Yeah, bro, you play Skyrim, right?
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like picking locks, bro. You just kind of... yeah, found it. That was it.
All right.
Oh,
man.
So for this one, we went ahead and put out on our Facebook page and asked for some, what some of our fans and friends think about what is wrong with the car scene. And actually, we got a decent amount of feedback. And I'll go ahead and start reading some of them off, and we'll just kind of.
Here's a letter from our listeners.
like Blue's Clues over here. I just got a letter.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. It's probably from Boots.
So here we got Jesse James says, I highly suggest bringing up the negativity that is clearly amongst the car scene. And what do you guys think about the negativity amongst it?
I think it boils down to the gatekeeping, man. It's just they're negative because like they're like halfway salty because that's just the knee jerk thing to do is to just talk shit. But then it's also like you're also a little salty because like Will over here has a bone stock 330 and he just keeps telling people it's got a fucking S54 in it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, dude. It's okay. You're not that special. We can just like it and dig it or not like it, not dig it, and just keep moving.
Right. And the thing of it is, too, like, the whole car scene as a whole isn't negative. It's just got its negative pockets. There's some great stuff going on out there in the car scene. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of great shows and a lot of great meets that people are putting on. So that does help, but there is a lot of negativity within the car scene.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Josh Farney.
I just missed the fucking Albuquerque Super Show, the Burqua Duke City show, and I'm kind of salty about it because I had to work. But I hear there was like hundreds of fucking cars out there. Go ahead, start again. I got another something to say.
Josh Farney said.
So anyway,
too many events. Yeah, we could play this one. Go ahead. Too many events scheduled on top of like one another, so like you'll have multiple events in a day.
Now I could see that for the local car scene, but for like regional meets, I don't see that too often. I mean, we've seen it maybe once where UX was scheduled right next to what was the other one?
Well, that's negativity and drama within the car scene. Is that what's going on? The So What meets.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I could. Yeah, you're right there.
That is a group of people who did not like that. We're not going to go into that. That's just that is a whole nother.
Is that the people that are
worth of drama with
the group of people that are still going to Helen during UX because they refuse to like conform to what the new show is, because that's the group of people that ruined it in fucking Helen?
So that's the Josh Kipp people who like Josh Kipp and his work, which if anybody of you are in the Euro scene, you've heard of Josh Kipp and his interior.
Who?
I know you've heard of Josh Kipp.
Oh yeah, Kipp Love is gorgeous. The fucking interiors are top shelf, man. They're beautiful.
Yeah, and then Matthew Bounds, who they used to be partners, and then they split up, and then there's people who are for some and people who are for others, and it's a whole fucking drama and negativity. People who ask how many people are there, if everyone just stopped asking this and showed up, then it would be a solid turnout. I agree.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And mostly, it happens a lot in our, even in our group. Oh, who all there? You'll see it on the post, and I don't even respond to those, dude.
How many times in big community you and events, me showing up to the brewery? Quiet, Jeremy. Hush you.
Hush.
How many times did just you, Rodney, you and me would show up to the brewery or something, and it's like, man, we could have 50 motherfuckers show up, or it could just be us, and we're still gonna have a good time. So
yeah, well, I mean,
I think we address that like monthly.
The thing of it is like I plan stuff for myself, bro. I just enjoy y'all's company, so I invite y'all out. I'm still gonna go to Cookout on Friday night and get me a fucking cookout tray, whether y'all there or not. I don't give a fuck.
That's it, boy.
And I'm gonna stand right there and look at my car while I eat my fucking cookout tray.
Hell yeah, I might even get a camping chair and sit out by the trunk and fucking get mustard on my shirt all by myself.
Right. So, but yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with who all there. Like I said, people do that all the time, and I don't even respond because if you want to know who's here, come see.
Show up, yeah.
I feel like
another thing you said, respect.
I have a tendency to agree with that, but I feel like I'd be a hypocrite because big social gatherings or public gatherings like that, okay, whatever, man. It's only cool when people show up. Like, that's what makes it fun, is like the big crowds and shit, and you can mingle.
Yeah, but if everybody stopped, if everyone stopped asking who's all there and actually came out, then you would have a big crowd where you can mingle. Instead
everyone wants to be the 20th person to show up. No one wants to be the third person to show up.
Right.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying, in any other aspect of life, my first text back is going to be, who finna be there? I ain't showing. Who's at the house? Who's all at the house? Nah, bro, I ain't finna be there.
It doesn't matter, bro. Some of the best fucking meets that we've had has just been the three of us or five of us.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? True. It's really been some of the best fucking meets we've ever had was just the few of us. So,
and other times, the very next week, same spot, same energy and everything, and 25 motherfuckers show up.
Right.
Like, oh. I don't know where you guys came from, but cool.
So he also said respect for others' builds. I feel like that's where we've gotten lost in the car community. Is you need to respect all builds. So I will disagree with him there because
bags and wheels on a Mark V, tuning a Camry.
Yeah, it's.
I bring up this question though, like what do we consider a build?
No, I don't think it's the build part of that sentence. I think it's the respect part of that sentence. What I choose to respect.
No, I mean, I know. No, I agree.
Different than yours. So for some people who just have a ton of money and not a lot of like mechanical inclination, to them, a 14-inch lift on a 250 with 26x16 American forces on rubber bands, that's respect. To somebody else, a bone stock 330i with a fucking with fucking an intake,
a picture of an S54,
yeah, with an intake and discount tire wheels. To them, that it's what you value in somebody else's build is what you will classify as a build or not a build, or what you choose to respect or not respect. For me, I don't give a fuck about these American Force fuckheads that have 26x16s on with baloney skin tires on a 250 or 350. But I know you're in that bitch $100,000 into the brand new Platy and another 50 into the fucking powder coated fucking ladder bars and bullshit you put in it.
Yeah, okay, but that's the thing is like you don't have to respect everyone's build, bro, because I'll put it like this, dude. Like, we'll go back to Gage Spark and his fucking Saturn, dude. It's probably the ugliest fucking car I've ever seen in my life, but it's dope.
Yeah,
but it's dope.
I love
it's cool as fuck, and I respect the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still think the car's ugly, it's dope, and I respect it. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you know, someone who's fucking dumped so much money into something and then, you know, have the shop install it. And I'm not saying having shop install your shit is a bad thing. I'm just saying you're going to get a little bit less respect than someone who has fucking drilled new holes in his fucking driveway to fucking camber these fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To say, didn't we hand him the saw in my driveway
just
so he could make it home?
Fucking right. You know what I'm saying? So like you've got a little bit more respect for me.
Mm-hmm. But does effort always equate to respect?
On my behalf, yes.
Yeah. Generally, yeah. I think so too, yeah. Generally.
If you put in the time and effort to get something done, you're going to get more respect. Out of me, at least.
Even if you spend a ton of time and money to find out it doesn't work, you're miles ahead of the guy who's just thinking about it or photoshopping it on his iPad the way he wishes it was.
I mean, the 335i rear brakes, it didn't end up working. They're still sitting in the garage. But I gave it a shot, tried to see if I can make it work.
So, and then the other things that he said we kind of already touched. People who are mechanically inclined, not always willing to help and teach. You know, we've already went over that. The one-uppers, the ones who think everything.
Why don't you know this? I know this. Why don't you know?
The people who can't respect the meat spot. Yeah, we've kind of gone over that. Corey Schaefer went ahead and said the lack of people willing to actually put time and effort into the cars to make it fast, look good, or sound good, and then they still want you to consider their builds worthy of praise.
I think that comes down to taste, though, because again, like look at the Genesis Coupe guys, man. To them, that is fucking pinnacle.
They don't look good or sound good.
Right, they're not fast. They don't look good. They don't sound good. They don't.
I mean, nobody likes the Genesis Coupe kids, though. Like, you know,
there it is.
They do it to them.
Sad face from Ray.
they do it to themselves.
Yeah, the FRS kids have replaced them. The FRS, BRZ, GT86, 7 different names for the same fucking car. God, dude, take a
no. Those cars have potential. They're kind of cool.
I've seen a few. I've seen 1 or 2 clean Jennies. I've seen 1 or 2 clean BRZs. Actually, there's a dude in town who's got a wide body BRZ, and it's pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet.
And he's got a big fucking wang on it, and it's
Charlie
cool.
Chang
I like it.
Wang.
Oh, bro, it is wider than my arm span.
I love that. That's
and
amazing.
I have a 78-inch, and I have a 78-inch fucking arm span. So, it's all done. It's all been done before, and hard to produce something original. Too many folks out there building for the masses rather than themselves.
I agree with the latter sentence, but not the
yeah. I don't think that
sentence.
it's all been done before. Yeah. But that is a moniker of you try to do something because you like it, and why would you do that? That so and so did that. Well, I don't give a fuck what so and so did.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be original with the fucking Mark 1. How many people have done a 12 valve VR swap
on teddy bears?
Yeah.
Those are probably some of the ugliest wheels on Earth.
I've heard this. I've heard that a few times.
Right. I muted again.
Shit. Fuck out of here. Remove.
That's enough.
They are really polarizing, so I'll give them that. Yeah. I've yet to find someone who just kind of about them. They either really love them or they really hate them. Yeah. You just happen to really hate them. I happen to love them.
No, I don't. I don't hate them. I would never own them or run them on my own rig, but I guess they're cool over there.
Anyways.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Zay said why people don't support locals pitting on events is what I want to know. I agree. We have a meet here called the Bring It Back meet, and for whatever reason, people hate, like, some people just don't want to support this meet. And where in this meet is really trying to do good for the car community and bring the car community, together. They don't have sectioned off parking. They have VIP parking, and what I'm saying, which you could pay extra for. And then, regular parking, and hey, that's really on you if you want to pay for the extra parking, but they don't section it off into like Euros and American and truck, and you park in the order that you came in the VIP, and the same thing in regular parking. You park in the order that you came in. And all the funds that they get, first of all, they cover their bases, and then everything else goes to donation. So it's not like they're out here making a buck off of everyone, pitting on these meets. And I'll tell you what, man, these beats probably aren't cheap, because they got fireworks and food trucks and fucking local bands out. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's the works, and it's a good fucking meet.
Not to mention all the businesses that chip in too. Like, it just like a lot of those businesses I didn't know existed until the Bring It Back meet.
And people just refuse to support this meet. Mm-hmm. Zay, I have no idea.
What is the explanation? It's too commercial, man, or what's the deal? Is it
too mainstream, man?
I've heard that. I've heard, I don't like the people pitting it on, and so and so and so and so, and yeah, I've heard every fucking excuse in the books, bro. But there's been plenty of meets and events that I've been to where I don't particularly like the people pitting it on, but I still show up.
Mm-hmm. Bro, we used to go kick it in the Carolina Pardery parking lot, and when there was 15 to 20 fucking cars there, and that was like the highlight fucking weekend in Augusta.
Right. Teddy says anyone with a car thinks he or she is a car guy. Yeah, we kind of, Jeremy kind of touched over that one.
Yeah.
Reese Mason is the biggest problem too with the car scene. Reese is the fucking menace in the car scene, man.
What a piece of shit that guy is. Yeah. Am I right?
Fucking asshole.
Hey, Reese, when are you going to finish your car, man?
That thing is gorgeous, man. He's
Rumor has it he has a Supra, but I've only seen fucking photos off the internet. I've never actually seen it in person. So
a bunch of stock photos.
He's got like 2 pictures of an engine, so I think he scooped a 2J. He has a 2J somewhere.
He's got 2 pictures of Jay-Z's.
He has
2 J's. Gage, the respect all builds thing. A person buys some cheap coilovers, big wang, and cheap wheels, and wants the same respect to someone who builds their shit from ground up.
Mm-hmm.
We 100%
bags and wheels Mark V.
The thing of it is like, it's not really a build. And if you want to argue that bags are a build because it takes more effort than coilovers. As someone who has extensive history of doing installation history of doing both, bags are no harder than fucking coilovers, bro. You run 2 extra fucking lines. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm getting at. Like,
Sure.
Basically.
You run two wires and 4 lines, bro. It's not really any fucking different. If you're meticulous, you usually get it down the first or second try, and it goes the same way with fucking doing coilovers. It's not just a fucking throw coilovers in there and just run it like it is, like people think it is, bro. You got to fucking corner balance, and you know what I'm saying. So there's.
Wait, we balance shit? We just slapped mine in.
Well, especially with these modern management systems, now, like you said, you run a remote, you run a ground, and you run a power, and everything is already like pre-wired in the manifold. You run your little line to where you want your controller to be. You run your air lines, which is fucking dog shit easy. And other than that, it's just a coil job that doesn't need adjusted.
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't consider bags and wheels, or suspension and wheels for that matter, a build. I don't even call my car a build, and it's just suspension and wheels.
But it does set itself apart from the stockers that much that what do you classify it as then? You know what I mean? Like, I use mine as
I would say like a project.
If you parked mine next to a bone stock Touareg, you wouldn't even know it's a Touareg.
Yes, you would.
Well, you would. You don't count. But to the untrained
anybody would, bro. The body is the same, bro. If I parked my car next to a bone stock fucking 330i, you would be able to tell it's a fucking 330i still because the body is the same. You didn't fucking change your body.
I need to.
That's not true, that motherfucker.
I mutilated my bumpers front and back and my rockers.
So
did Becky and her Elantra. Like, what do you?
I wouldn't call it a.
What I mean, as far as for sake of classification, if it isn't a build and it's miles from aesthetically,
it's slightly modified. It's a slightly modified vehicle, bro. That's all there is to it.
Is mine slightly modified?
Yes, you've done suspension and wheels. What else have you done?
Modified. It's got a bigger turbo.
What you put a fucking roof rack on it? You want me to fucking applaud you for that? You fucking tightened up 4 bolts?
I'm just saying. I'm just asking what you classify it as. Then
a slightly modified Touareg, bro. I wouldn't call it a build.
Huh?
Wheels, I would call a build. Boots is Mark 1. I would say that's a build.
The Mark 1, to be fair, is getting a cage, a wrap, a swap.
And the wrap is what makes it a build.
Oh, easily, yeah. That's why it's fine. Once I get mine wrapped, then we'll readdress this here.
Yeah. There you go.
Then I will properly call it a build.
Build.
What if it's just a solid color? I might not get a livery. Is that we're in
no.
moderately modified? We're not at build status yet. We're just a little better than stock.
All Augustus Gloop over here said negativity and lack of participation. You got motherfuckers always commenting on drama posts and dumb shit. Augustus Gloop, you are always in the fucking center of the drama.
That's true. Put shit together, Gloop. Yes, it is true.
Isn't he the only one in here still in the Augusta car scene?
Yes, the only one here still in the Augusta car scene, posting memes and shit when drama goes on.
The rest of us got banned.
Several times. Some of us got banned several times. And if it weren't for Reese, I think, was the one who would like backdoor us and get us approved to come back in. Like, he lifted up the fence so that we could all climb through and talk shit again and get booted the next night. God knows, Reese has been booted more times than we have, I think.
All I said was free my boy Rodney. That's all I said.
Rodney. Oh, that's right. I remember that. I remember that shit.
Godzilla had a stroke trying to read this and fucking died.
Anywho, he said new people always trying to suggest new neat spots or new ideas and get shut down instantly by people who never come out. Such negative Nancy's. I can't agree with you there, man. Because if I would have never kind of branched out, me and Jeremy and Brandon, if we would have never branched out and started doing our own things, we wouldn't be what we are today. But you know, from day one of us being in the Augusta car scene and being out to the meets, Jeremy and I discussed after that day, we saw that motherfucker like, yeah, you know, because just instantly you could tell it was just a negative scene.
It's all about who you surround yourself with.
Right. And so if we would have never said, hey, you know what, let's start our own thing. We'll do our own Euro group. We'll start having our own meets. And we'll kind of, you know, make it more family where, you know, we do barbecues and shit like that.
Yeah, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Then we wouldn't be anywhere near where our group is at now. Which even if you look at what our group is now compared to, you know, 2-3 years ago, it's grown significantly. So
it's doubled. Yeah.
I will have to disagree with you there. And finally, motherfuckers who ruin meat spots. This more so an Augusta problem, but they've been run off genuinely good meat spots. That's not an Augusta problem, man. It really isn't. Like I said, I've been to so many. You know, LA is you have designated backup meat spots, and you usually have 3 or 4 of them because you know the cops are going to come bust you. Same thing out in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? You have designated backup meat spots, and you know everyone gets the night of. You get told, hey, if this happens, we'll all fuck off for 30 minutes and then we'll recongregate in this parking lot, and then so on and so forth. And everywhere you go, man, you're gonna have dumbasses who ruin the meat spot, or maybe it just doesn't get ruined. Maybe it's just cops have just been watching that area or whatnot. And then Justin Martinez, which my homie Justin Martinez has a dope ass fucking he's got a bagged Hellcat Challenger.
He bagged a Hellcat,
and he's got it in the yeah.
Hey,
well, bro, and he's got
it. I mean,
it's wrapped in Jackson Storm livery.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty badass. Sick. I'll send you all pictures later. Dude's taking home trophies left and right, bro, at car shows. It's a dope car.
So you're right.
He said
the take on a wrap is a build, so that's it.
He's got the wrap. That's the key.
It is got to be the wrap, dude, or a nice plastic.
He's got more. He's got more than that done. Anyways, takeovers and these side shows and shit like that is what he said, and I 100% agree there. And that's what where I kind of started off with was these takeovers and side shows and shit like that.
Yep, I agree.
Man, if someone try to do a takeover around here, they just get plowed into by someone driving an Altima. Every day of the week.
Was that supposed to be funny?
I don't even know what he said.
No, it was just a comment about people around here.
Especially a guy that board slided his GTI.
Well, we don't want to talk about that, do we?
I mean, someone's wanted to talk about that one a lot lately.
Yeah, because it's funny as fuck.
4 years ago?
Yeah, it doesn't get less funny.
Yeah, people don't forget, Boots.
Yeah. This will remember. Never forget.
You sound like that dude off of fucking Superbad when he's like, what are you going to do, pee your pants again, Craig? It was like 4 years ago, asshole. Hey, you still fucking did it.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit, that's funny. Boots, why don't you tell everybody the story of why you did that?
Okay.
Closer to
the
microphone.
I was back in my... I was in my Mark 6 GTI, which is making all of... Actually, no, it was pretty much stock at the time.
25 horsepower.
Basically. Coming down Gordon Highway, I'm cooking at this point, and someone in a blacked out fucking, Civic Accord, some old ass busted up Honda, comes blazing on my right side as I'm going across an intersection. I'm in the left lane, and he's coming towards me. So I'm like, okay, I could either let him hit me, or I could go left and hope I make it. I didn't make it. So 0 body damage, but I end up straddling a concrete median about yay high.
Median height,
And
right?
yeah. Big median. And just kind of board sliding my GTI across it. And I limped the car all the way back, maybe 3 miles away to this parking lot that I was familiar with. Well, okay, I'm gonna stop it here. Life's good. Call tow truck. There's oil spilling out everywhere, and with 0 damage to the body whatsoever. Apparently, I had fucked both subframes, the transmission, the oil pan, naturally, engine mounts. It was like $8,000 worth of damage when it was all said and done. And I don't think I ever saw that car again.
Yeah, I'd say that $8,000. That's about totaled for a Golf. Yeah.
At the time, not quite.
Oh.
That same car today, probably.
So, what can we do, fellas, to correct this car scene, and what can car enthusiasts do to bring it back to what it used to be or what it can be? What do what do you guys think?
More food at meets.
Shut up, fatty.
Hey,
Honestly, like I grew up going to car meets almost exclusively with the Mexican crowd. And what I will say,
so we need more Mexicans.
We need more beaners, yeah.
more
So
Mexicans.
the difference is they have like full blown like dedicated car clubs. They have dedicated like familia, like it's like they're really like family cliques, like and if one guy is like great at mechanical shit, somebody else does interior. They got a cousin who paints cars. They got somebody else who works at a tire shop and hooks everybody up. You know what I mean? It really is like the clicking without the gatekeeping. So I think because the car scene has gotten so big, not just by number of people who identify, but like we said before, with all these newfound car guys that are just kind of embarrassing on their way up, is you're able to kind of weed them out, or you can take in, just a couple of Padawans at a time. And you know what I'm saying? And you can get a few people turned up because honestly, as much as it is nice to be a mechanically inclined guy or the guy that has the house that has all the tools and the space and everything to do that, like I'm not here to cater to you either. That's not my responsibility. But I think that's what's really cool about how the Mexican car clubs they do that shit is they stay clicked and they teach and they do what they're going to do. They just kind of do it inside of their own bubble. And that's essentially what we did too. Whether we intentionally modeled it after like the Mexican car clubs and shit or any of the West Coast car clubs.
Well,
but like,
I think because that's the scene that you and I grew up in, and that's kind of where, our roots in the car scene are in, was, going to these lowrider shows and going, to these mini truck shows, and then going, the air-cooled Volkswagen.
Baby.
These, air-cooled Volkswagen shows, and, just seeing, and being a part of the family and seeing how everybody is a family. And even though you've got different car clubs and car cliques, they exchange information and they exchange knowledge, and they've got all each other's contact numbers. Even though they're different car clubs, they still help each other out. You know what I'm saying? If there's a big show going up, bro, like, and I know you got a dope ass car and we're competing against each other, especially like in the low riding scene, I'm going to go help you fucking get your car ready. If my car's, 100% ready, I'm going to go help you get your readies, because I don't want to compete against these other guys, because I know they're not real competition. I want to compete against you, even though you're my rival. So I'm going to go help you.
And even then, like if they were, if the KDM kids were doing a meet, maybe the Euros would come out. No, it's not technically our meet, but we're gonna pop by here for 20 minutes just to show a little respect, see what's up, dap it up, check everything out, see what's new, and then maybe move on to the next and roll out or roll on to our own meet or something like that. But there's
Right.
no like that reciprocity is.
And
That's why I said it's
yeah.
it's all
I
of
always
that clickness that makes it feel like family oriented without the gatekeeping. I feel like the gatekeeping is
yeah.
a big problem.
And I always tried to like implement that in our group too. And you know, because even in Jeremy too, you know, anytime we made posts, it was always, hey, anybody's welcome to show up. Even though this is the Augusta Euros meet, anyone's welcome to show up, man. We're not. I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you got. If you got a beat up fucking Civic, come hang out, bro. It's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You might fucking become Ray and come over to the fucking dark side because you like what we got going on.
Let's be real. That's because he.
Well, I mean, he did buy a Passat, so half credit, you know. Hang on. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it was that 3-wheel.
There it goes. Oh, he's mad again.
That 3-wheel motion. So you know, it's always, and that's what I've learned out here in Augusta is, oh well, this is a KDM meet. Well, all right, then it could be a fucking KDM meet, and you guys will stay 5 people fucking large, and then wonder why everybody fucking hates you,
or because you're so you know, disclusionary that it's only going to be the 5 of you, and if you let everybody in that's got a KDM to your cool KDM club, it's just a bone stuck fucking. You know, it's a bunch of just regular ass fucking traffic.
Bunch of Kias,
fucking Velosters, and
Kia dealership.
Like, get out of here, dude. There he is. There he is. Look at him. A sigh of self-relief.
So, all right. Well, Will, what do you got?
Stop being poor.
What do you got on what we can do to better this scene?
I think start building cars for what you want instead of what other people want. That's my big thing. It's the biggest lesson I had to learn was I'm not building it for everybody else. They don't have to sit in the driver's seat and drive it around all the time. I do.
Right. What you got, Boots?
I would say maybe try other shit. Even if it's not your thing. Give it a shot to see, hey, what do these other people see in this platform?
You try shit?
If I'm...
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No. But
okay.
If it's not your taste in cars, give it a try. Hey man, you want to go for a ride in this thing? Hey, can I check out your car? Hey, how does your car appeal to you? I've asked Will plenty of times, how his car does it for him. And he's answered me plenty of times. Because I can't wrap my brain around it, but I can still see through his eyes as to what he sees in the car. I personally wouldn't have that same car with that same path, but I can still respect the work he's put into it.
That sounds pretty good.
I think
basically perspective.
Yeah, I think for me, you know, the big thing is more or less, you know, yes, we sit here and we shit on KDMs, and yes, we sit here and shit on, obviously GTIs. We're primarily GTIs, and
we shit on VWs more than anything, and we drive them all. We've all either currently own one, or have owned one, or have owned. I think my Touareg is number 14 or number 15.
No VW person loves VWs. We fucking hate these things.
Which reminds me that all-electric bus looks dope, dude. Yeah, what one?
Yeah, okay. we sit here, we bullshit, we talk shit about cars, but at the end of the day, we all like JDM cars, and we all, there's a handful of KDM cars that we kind of like. Will lost power, so Will be.
Oh, I thought he was gonna take a shit right there, boy. Look on his. We should all end the podcast right there. Let's all get in that position and then shut it off. Screenshot right there.
Let's do it.
Oh, it booted him. But so at the end of the day, man, help each other out. Like, that's what it all comes down to, and that's what the car scene is really based around, is helping each other out. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm not going to help you out with money, but I have a lot of knowledge base, and I'll help you out with my knowledge base that I do have. And I'm not afraid to tell you I don't know something. You could ask Boots, you could ask Will, you could ask Jeremy, you could ask fucking Augustus Gloop, you could ask anybody in this group. If I don't know something, I will straight up say, hey, I don't know, man. I could research and get back to you.
You've poured sweat on pretty much every car I've owned. So
yeah, mine too.
So yeah,
he's literally soaked the seat
you're
out.
A sweaty boy.
On my TDI.
So get out there and help each other, man. It's not about the end goal in the car scene for me. It's the process, the way along, and the people along with it. Because for me, it's not. Do I want my car to get to this point? Absolutely, but it's the process and me getting to this point and the people I have around me and helping me. That's what I enjoy most about the car scene, and really what keeps me in it. Mostly thanks to these fucks, because they've got helped out a handful and shit like that. So at the end of the day, do fucking better. Be better people. And we'll catch y'all next time.